The left-right game is an urban legend about an interdimensional road trip. The rules are simple. Get in your car, find a quiet stretch of road and take a left turn. At the next intersection, take a right, then a left, then a right. You must follow this alternating pattern perfectly. If you make a mistake, the game ends, and you will not survive the drive back. I convinced a group of friends to try it late on a Friday night. We packed my SUV, grabbed some coffee, and hit the backroads of rural Pennsylvania. The first few turns were normal. Left onto an asphalt county road, right onto a dirt track, left onto a gravel lane. But by the 10th turn, the landscape outside the windows began to change dramatically. The familiar pine trees were replaced by towering, obsidian-black obelisks. The sky above us wasn't night. It was a swirling vortex of deep purple clouds. The radio stopped playing music and began broadcasting the sound of someone weeping softly in a language none of us recognized. "We should turn back," my friend Sarah whispered from the back seat. Her voice was trembling. "This isn't a game anymore." I wanted to agree, but the next turn was coming up. It was a right turn. But the road ahead split into 3 paths. There was no right turn available, just a left, a straight, and a dirt path plunging into a dark canyon. Panic set in. If I broke the pattern, the rules said we were dead. I slammed on the brakes, stopping the SUV in the middle of the surreal, alien highway. The engine idled softly. Outside, the purple sky grew darker. Then, from the obsidian obelisks, tall, spindly figures began to emerge. They had no faces, just smooth white skin, and they were walking slowly toward the car. "Drive!" Sarah screamed. I hit the gas, taking the left turn to escape the figures. But the moment the tires crossed the threshold, the SUV's engine died completely. The headlights flickered and shattered. We were plunged into total darkness, surrounded by the tapping of long, pale fingers against the glass. We sat in total silence for what felt like hours, afraid to even breathe. When morning finally came, the SUV was parked in an empty field miles from any main road. The doors were unlocked, but Sarah and the others were completely gone. Their belongings were still in the backseat, covered in thin gray ash. I managed to walk back to civilization. But every time I drive through an intersection, I feel a terrifying urge to turn left, knowing that the road to that other place is still waiting for me. I tried to report their disappearance, but there are no official records of the roads we took. The authorities think I did something to my friends, but the truth is far worse. They are trapped somewhere in that endless loop, and every night, my car radio turns itself on, broadcasting their voices calling out to me from the dark obelisks. The legend of this encounter has been retold across forums and dark corners of the internet for over a decade. Researchers and investigators who attempted to track down official police reports, missing persons filings, or hospital intake logs from that period found that all public records had been systematically scrubbed. Witnesses who spoke out received anonymous threats or experienced sudden, inexplicable home foreclosures. Local authorities refused to answer questions, maintaining a strict wall of silence. The psychological scarring left on those who survived is permanent. Nightmares, sleep paralysis, and severe paranoia are common among the few who made it out alive. Experts in urban folklore believe that these events are not isolated incidents, but part of a larger systemic phenomenon occurring in isolated rural towns
across North America.
The patterns mashed dozens of unsolved disappearance cases stretching back to the mid-20th century. Whenever dense fog rolls over the mountains or power grids fail late at night, residents in these remote areas report hearing the same unexplainable sounds: metallic scrapes, heavy dragging footsteps, and distant, muffled crying coming from the woods. The story serves as a stark warning to anyone tempted to explore abandoned structures, forgotten caves, or off-grid mountain roads. Some secrets are buried deep for a reason, and once you step across the threshold into the dark, there is no guarantee. We share these accounts not to entertain, but to document the truth before it is completely erased from history. Former investigative journalists who looked into this case reported receiving strange late-night phone calls containing only breathing and... Local police records regarding these specific coordinates have been permanently sealed under state secrecy orders. The psychological trauma suffered by those who witnessed these events firsthand remains untreated, as no conventional therapy can ease the horror of what was encountered in that dark, forgotten place.